Good morning, class 10. So far, we have completed one chapter, that is chapter photosynthesis. Now, we will move on to the next chapter, that is circulatory system. After circulatory system, I think there is a respiratory system or nervous system, and then after that, one more system is the endocrine system. Then the rest of the topics has been related. The related portion I have already sent you in WhatsApp. You can check over there. Okay. So this time pollution, population, coordination in plants. These are all the excluded topics. So let's continue this topic, circulatory system, a new chapter. So here we will be learning about blood vessels, heart, and the disease related with the heart. Okay, so first let us start this topic with the topic need of transport system in human being. Why do human being need transport system? Okay, so there are 4 reasons which I have mentioned here. Student, remember that I will be providing you notes also on this chapter. I have already provided the notes for chapter photosynthesis. You will be getting note on this chapter also. So whatever I am explaining one by one, all the points are there in my notes in the form of question answer or in the form of topics, different topics I have prepared. Okay, so you will be getting later, most probably with this video or in the next video. Now let's start. So why human being need transport system? So as we know that in order to carry out the process of respiration, okay, oxygen must reach each and every cells of the body, and the carbon dioxide which is produced in different cells after cellular respiration, okay, must be carried from different cells to the lungs so that it can be expelled out. Okay, so we require or we need transport system for carrying or for transporting oxygen and carbon dioxide during respiration. Now the next is removal of excretory waste. We require transport system in order to carry the waste material. Like for example, in the liver urea is produced. This urea has to be carried to the excretory organ like kidney so that it can be excreted out in the form of urine from the body. Okay, so in order to carry urea from the liver to the excretory organ like kidney, we require the circulatory system, like which consists of blood. Particularly, urea get dissolved in the blood and blood carries it to the kidney. We'll discuss about this thing later. Then after that comes, as we know that after digesting the food is absorbed in the small intestine. Okay, that is in the ileum part of small intestine, which is absorbed there. Now these absorbed food materials has to be carried to different cells of the body. Okay, different cells of the body. Now see, this one, the transport system is required to carry the digested food molecules. Okay, from the organ where the food is absorbed to the different cells of the body. Okay, so this is another point. So simply to say, transport system is required for the transfer of digested food molecule. And the next point is the hormones, which is one of the chemical substances released by endocrine gland. About the hormone we'll be discussing in endocrine gland. Okay, separate chapter, the last chapter. We'll be discussing over there. So hormones mostly responsible for regulating all the metabolic activities in the body. It has to be distributed to different parts of the body. For the distribution of these hormones, we require transport system. So these are the 4 points for which transport system is needed in our body. So the transport system which we have is called circulatory system. Okay, circulatory system. And for the transferring this material, there are the fluids present in the body. Okay, the fluids present in the body may be circulatory fluid or there may be non-circulating fluid. Okay, circulating fluid are mainly blood, lymph, and then tissue fluid. They circulate throughout the body. Okay, about the blood in detail we'll learn later. Then again, lymph particularly are the fluid which runs through the lymphatic vessels. About lymph also we'll be learning later. And then tissue fluid. Tissue fluid is actually the fluid which is present in between the spaces of the tissues. The spaces which is present in between the tissues are filled with the fluid which are called tissue fluid. Okay, so these are all circulating fluid. Now comes non-circulating fluid. Non-circulating fluids, for example, synovial fluid. These synovial fluids are present in synovial joints, that is knee joints. In the knee joints, the synovial fluids are present. They help in reducing the friction, okay, between the joints. You might have learned in class 9 also about synovial fluids. Then after that, one more example is mentioned in the body, in the book, that is vitreous humor. Vitreous humor is actually the fluid which is present in the eye, in the vitreous chamber, about which again we'll be learning about this in chapter nervous system, when we'll be learning about eye. Okay, so just now I told you about circulating fluid and non-circulating fluid. Now let us start the main topic, that is circulatory system. In human body, the circulatory system is formed by three different things, that is blood, then comes, after blood comes blood vessels, and then heart. These three things together form the circulatory system. So if you are asked to define circulatory system, you can define it by saying that blood vessels together with heart forms an organ system called circulatory system. So first, to begin with, we will start with the blood. Okay, now see how to define this blood. Blood is actually the circulating fluid, or it is a connective tissue, about which again you might have learned in class 9. Okay, it is a connective tissue, or is a fluid which runs through the blood vessels. Very simple to define. Blood is a fluid which runs through the blood vessels. Then again, about the composition of the blood. The blood is mainly composed of two main parts. The first one is the fluid part, and the second one is cellular part, consisting of different types of cells. Okay, the fluid part of the blood is called plasma. Now here you may be asked to define the plasma. Okay, plasma is actually the yellowish straw colored alkaline fluid. Okay, alkaline fluid part of the blood. Okay, this is how you need to define. So plasma can be defined as the yellowish or straw colored fluid. What type of fluid it is? Alkaline fluid present in the blood. Okay, so plasma, they are responsible for carrying the waste material, and then again the carbon dioxide is also carried by the plasma. And one important point which we need to note down here is that there are three different types of proteins which are found in plasma, and they are albumin, globulin, and fibrinogen. Fibrinogen, later again we will be learning about fibrinogen in blood clotting. Okay, now next comes the cellular part. Cellular part, there are three different types of cells which are found in blood, and they are RBC, WBC, and platelets. RBC is also called erythrocyte. WBC is also called leukocytes, and platelets are also called thrombocytes. Okay, so about the difference of RBC, WBC, and platelets we'll discuss in the next video. In this video, this much, student. Thank you very much.